Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on CrossFit Garage Podcast, where we are trying to help you build a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances. I'm here today. Well, I'm Andy McCann, owner of The Garage, and a small entrepreneur of some good and some bad businesses. I guess if you never fail, you've never tried. So I'm here with Omar, not only on his own personal journey of health and fitness, but also a fellow entrepreneur. So Omar, how did you end up here in Woodstock, Georgia?
So I was around 7. We used to live in Windy Hill in Marietta, and I guess my family wanted a bigger house, so they looked at different places like Roswell and stuff like that, moving around. Ended up landing here in Woodstock and started elementary school here, and we've been here ever since.
Okay,
and
wow.
that was in 1999.
How about that? So you and I ended up here. I didn't know this already, but we're very similar. I lived on Windy Hill in Marietta for a very long time. There was a couple apartment complexes over there that we bounced around to. And then your store down in near Georgia Tech.
So it is near Georgia Tech, but it's more towards Georgia State, Grady side.
Okay, we'll get into that one too.
Sure.
So I ended up here in 1999, 2000. So my wife and I were looking for a house. And we're like, okay, where can we go? We went to the exact same places, and we were like, if we go to Woodstock, we can pay the same amount of money, but get like twice the house. Why is that? So for anybody that made it up here in 1999, you scored.
Yeah, that is true. Yep. So, I mean, we've been here when it was nothing like really in Woodstock at all.
I mean, 92 had barely anything on it.
That is correct.
Yeah. So it's interesting too. So if you get off of 92, so like right behind us, what is it, Arnold Mill? There's nothing there.
No.
Unless you get into Town Lake.
That is correct.
So you just have to move one road up. Then you're like, oh, where's everybody go? I don't know.
So the funny thing is with Town Lake, I'm actually in the Deer Run neighborhood. So I pretty much, as I grew up, I've seen everything being built there.
Yeah, for sure.
And you do get the good, feeling from, hey, I've seen everything as being built as I was growing up. And you do get used to the area. The only one down part is traffic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so they have, right, I do like Blankets Creek and Rope Mill, those parks that they've added, but yeah, it can be, especially what was it the other night? So Evie, my youngest, is 15, and she's trying to learn to drive on this Ford F-150. So like, little girl, big truck, I mean, sounds like a great stereotype for us Southerners. I'm like, let's do it. So we get to downtown Woodstock the other night, and there's cops blocking it off. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening, but let's see if we can turn through this apartment complex. So she's driving this big truck, and everybody has like double parked. So the roads are super narrow. And then there's people coming the other direction. I'm like, okay, so it's okay. We love traffic because that means people live here, but it can be a little annoying, but yeah. I mean, it just, it increases the property values and all that stuff too, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It allows us to have these other businesses. So you end up here in Woodstock. And then at least when I met you, you started into an entrepreneurial track. So how did you get into this idea? Because I mean, I went to Georgia Tech, got an engineering degree, was a good little boy sitting in the desk doing my thing. But here you are saying, I'm jumping in. How'd you get into that?
So we've had a family business. So besides the convenience store, we've got a knife business that my dad's ran all the time, and I kind of took over from there. We're still, from that time to now, I've changed stuff around. We've gotten bigger than what we used to.
The only time I can get Jamie on the podcast is when she walks in. Hey,
hi.
Matt, she's running off.
1 year, she's still saying, I'll podcast with you one day. So you got the knife business.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I changed it from being a wholesale to a full retail business.
Okay.
And, we've been doing shows every weekend. We'll do different trade shows. And that's basically been our goal now, is to get the brand out there.
And what brand is it?
TriStar.
TriStar. And if somebody wanted a knife, could they go online and buy it?
Yeah, TriStarEdge.com.
Okay, I'm not going to write that down. What I'm going to do is put it in the show notes.
Okay.
Andy, go back and re-listen to right here. Put it in, say it one more time.
TriStarEdge.com.
Okay, perfect. So guys, if you're looking for a good holiday gift, of course, this may come up after the holidays, so just buy it for now for next Christmas. Yeah, that's it. Or birthdays. Do you guys specialize in any particular type of blade?
So I'm wearing their shirt. We're their biggest stocking dealer for the state of Georgia, which is Microtech Knives. Tony Marfione, I'm really good friends with him. I've known him for a while. They specialize in more your tactical use. They do have a service program for military and law enforcement.
Oh, wow.
So they categorized a lot of knives for tactical use. They're mainly designed for single hand use, so you can deploy it with one button, retract it with the same button that you opened it with.
You're using the right words. Everyone, when he says deploy it, he means you can open it up and use it. Yeah, so fancy words for us commoners. But no, that's awesome. And I have always had, I didn't know the stores like 511 existed, but I would go there every day just to look around. I love that stuff. And I've never been in the military, but any of that stuff, I don't know why, but like zombie apocalypse, bring it, baby. I got cauliflower and I don't have it called, but I mean, I love these things. So my kids are just now starting to want to hunt. Yeah. And so my oldest daughter's at Auburn, and I guess going to Auburn is more country. I don't know, but she came back over one of the breaks. She's like, hey, I would like to learn to hunt. I'm like, okay. And so one of the things was, well, if we shoot a deer, we have to field dress it, which actually means undress it. She's like, how do you do that? I'm like, well, I need to actually buy you a knife. So you can get like specialty knives that do really cool things. Yeah, so it's not, that one's not tactical. That's
more your Skinner.
Yeah,
that's what they use that for.
Do you sell those too?
Yeah, we've got plenty of those. Yep.
Well, then I might be jumping on that site. I was thinking, we know how to field dress, but I don't know how to like really take it down, and I don't have any of the tools. But she's like, I want to learn it all. I'm like, let me watch some videos real quick. So YouTube makes you an expert on anything.
Yeah. So funny thing with the Skinners is we've got one of our very first production line coming that is all manufactured in-house by us.
Oh, wow.
Those are supposed to be here within the next week or so, right before Christmas.
Okay.
And we're going to actually do a launch on that as well. But I will get you one of those. That'll be a gift from our side.
Oh, hey, man. Look at that.
You'll have one that you can, give to your daughter, and I'll get you one for yourself.
So this show is now sponsored by all your businesses. I'm plastered up everywhere. So Olivia, you'll have to meet Omar and say thank you as we take down this deer. So this is pretty cool. So you've got more businesses than I knew of. So the knife business, you said you turned to retail. So is it all online, or do you have a storefront?
So we've got online, and we have a warehouse currently that we do like all the shipping out of.
Okay.
But here's the best part that you're going to get a kick out of. See across the street where it says the
Black Rifle Coffee?
Black Rifle Coffee.
Yeah.
I'm actually working on a deal with opening a retail store there.
Get out of here. Yeah. That would be so cool.
So we'll be right across the street.
So if I'm not doing a podcast right here in this front room, I like to go to Black Rifle, and it screams to me like there's a VW with a machine gun sticking on the top. I'm like, I don't know. I just love this stuff. Yeah. Of course, I've been there with other people that are like, I hate this sort of stuff. I'm like, well, I don't know. The coffee's free? Well, coffee's on me. They're like, it's good. So that'd be pretty cool. There's a long time ago, when they were building that, they had a sign up, and we were renegotiating the lease here. So I guess it had to be like 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. When they were building that, I called them up and was like, hey, so you're building to sell, right? And they're like, yeah, sell or lease, whatever. So I actually was very close to like putting an offer in to buy it. And then the economy went crazy. So I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to wait.
Yeah. So we've talked to them a couple of times about getting a suite there, figuring out, but every couple of times I've talked to them, the biggest issue that came to was the knives, because every real estate or even a property owner now considers that in one category.
Oh, yeah, and like firearms or something?
Firearms and weapon and ammunition, it's all been categorized into one.
Yeah, so there's more strict rules on you for that, yeah. It is kind of a weird thing. So this is, folks, if you're out there, maybe this podcast is going to be called Finances First instead of Fitness and Food. But if you're looking to become an entrepreneur, it is not hard. Make the first stupid step, do something. But realize that there are weird rules that don't apply to us as consumers that do apply to you as a business owner. I mean, an easy one is like as a member, you don't technically pay rent here at this building. But yes, you do, because it's in your membership somewhere, right? So I take the risk on of, let's see, it's $5,000 a month-ish. So it's $60. So it's a $300,000 commitment to my name, right? And these are the things that you have to be okay with. And then they write certain things in there. Fortunately for here, they did not write noise ordinances or anything, because we dropped too much weight and too loud. But so it is weird. You need to look into those things ahead of time before you realize, hey, I just leased this out and we're using it as a knife store, and they're going to be like, you can't. And you signed your name. Too bad.
That is correct.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some sad stuff right there. So, so let's take a tangent. We're going to get back to business, but Let's take a tangent. So, was it July that you and I got on the phone together?
Yeah, first week of July.
So something happens in your life. You're like, okay, I need to make a turn here. Something goes down. So one, what is that? What happens? Why? How did you find us? And then we're going to go down that road. So let's start off with like, how did you end up, like, what was the turning point? What was the thing?
Honestly, my mom.
Yeah. Okay, good. No, I love it. People that you love should love you enough to tell you the things that need to be told.
So she would get on to me consistently every day about it. So it was to a point where I was like, you know what? Let's do it.
Right.
And one of my younger brothers, they asked our neighbor, you know, what's a good place or where do you go?
You found us from some word of mouth?
That's a funny part. Like I was telling you earlier.
Yeah, right, yeah. There are multiple gyms around us, so we don't always get the same people we think we're getting or going to. They end up in the wrong place. But
so
we're glad you found us.
That is true, yeah.
And so what led you there? What was your mom telling you? What was she saying? Like, hey.
She was saying, so.
Because you guys are busy, so let's set the stage. You're entrepreneurs, family business. No one works harder than when you're working with your family.
Yeah.
Unless they're that one guy that doesn't work. You're like, dang it, Timmy, come on. Yeah. And so you're working your butt off, and then she says,
you know, she was like, it's basically time to take care of yourself, too.
Yeah.
So I was not at the same weight I was when she told me that I need to start doing it. I did gain a lot of weight.
Okay.
And I always was like, nah, I don't think I did. Now that I go back and look at it, oh yeah.
Yeah, you showed me that one picture. Yeah, doesn't even look like you.
No, that's a crazy part. My brothers showed me that picture. And I was like, wait, what? So I had to go back and look at it. That was actually 1 month before I started.
Really?
Here. That was in June 18th.
Oh wow. So how long have you been working out? What would you do? What's the time frame for us so far?
So from July to now.
Okay. So right now is December 6th.
December.
This podcast will probably come out, well, I'll slide it in somewhere. Hopefully before Christmas. Now they know there's a Christmas gift people can buy.
Yeah.
So I'll rearrange something. But so we're talking about 6 months.
6 months, that is
correct. And in 6 months, so I typically will tell people, if you go for fast change, it's not lasting. So give yourself some time. So you've had 6 months. Have you seen any changes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's something notable for you? I mean, and let me turn this around first. All credit to you. I tell people all the time, there is no real secret, and you said it in there in the gym when we were working out together. It's showing up. It's consistency. Mm-hmm. You just have to be consistent, and you are. I can look at your attendances, and I'm texting and going, dude, this is awesome. So you're super consistent. So let's get that straight. It's not, I came in once, whatever. No, you're consistent. Mm-hmm. You're diligent with your time.
Yep.
And you're showing up. You're making it a priority. So 6 months of this priority, tell us some of the things that have happened for you.
So one, energy level.
Yeah.
It's gone a lot more than what it used to be.
That's awesome.
And then, one thing was I would tell Jamie all the time, yeah, I'm working out, but I don't see any changes. Little did I know, if I would have went back and looked at some of the older pictures, I would have seen it.
Yeah.
But then I also started the nutrition with Laura. And at that time, before I started, you did a podcast on it too with Laura about the ChatGPT and the AI and stuff. So according to that, my caloric deficit should have been 1900. Well, Laura and I kind of figured it needs to be higher than that.
Yeah.
And when I did see the numbers, I was like, wait, that's a lot of protein that I got to eat in that.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
But if you stay consistent and do it every day, it just becomes like natural.
And that is a tough part. So there's a lot of things to unpack right there. So Levi said, Dad, let's track nutrition together. I said, no, I'm too awesome for that. Turns out I was wrong and I should be tracking this stuff. And you learn something simply by tracking. And one of the things I learned, the app said, your macro or your calorie count should be 2,202. I'm like, how did it just pulled that out? I didn't know what I was doing fitness-wise or whatever. So you should have somebody that knows what you're doing, like Laura or whoever, give you an indication, because everybody doesn't fit the tables. And especially if you're doing stuff like CrossFit or whatever, it's not like going out for a jog. So have somebody tell you, like one of the days I was like, I am starving. I don't know what's wrong with me. And I mean, we just basically pulled those calories literally out of the phone, because that's just using the phone app. So definitely have somebody do that. But then, so you started tracking your food, right?
Yes.
And so I'm sure like you or like me, you probably like realize stuff as you're tracking. What did you realize?
Oh, so a lot of things I realized when I was tracking was one, if you look at a lot of the food labels, it's not, if you look at the, for example, serving size.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's one thing everybody skips.
Oh, yeah.
They look straight for the calorie. Okay, it's 140 calories. That's not for the whole bag.
Yeah, they're like, the serving size of this is 8. You're like,
Yeah.
it's just a can of Coke. It's 8 servings? Yeah, that is so messed up. They'll disguise it in any way they can.
That is true. And basically, that's one thing I've never looked at. And then, I started looking at that. Second was plate. When you have your plate, you have to look at it this way, divide it up into 3. The left section of the plate all needs to be vegetable. The right-hand corner, that could be your meat. And put starch, or not necessarily bad starch.
Right.
You can have a little bit.
Your carbs go in that side or whatever.
Basically, you put something there as far as carbs in there.
Yeah, I love that plate method because then you don't have to like weigh and measure. You're like, I can eyeball this. And I think that's a big thing that comes out of it too. You start realizing, oh, the hamburger I have is 9,000 calories.
Yeah.
I could probably take this and this and this off, and now it becomes something sustainable.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So another thing was, so when we do the shows, like we'll go out of state, go do a trade show or something, we would normally go out to eat after the shows.
Oh, yeah.
With, we'll all friends get together, go out to eat. And every time we would go, they'll always be looking at me, oh, you ate this, you ate this, you ate that. Why are you not eating more? That's because I reached my limit for the day. And I'm not going to eat more. That's what I'm supposed to eat. And I'll sit there and log it. And I'm like, oh no, you can eat one of these. No.
Yeah. So consistency or in diligence to the plan, as well as so when we were I started tracking in Disney. So when we're down there and you know what you're buying and it's costing you like $50 for a hamburger. So I didn't really want to eat that much, but you could realize really quick, okay, this actually satiates me. It fills me up. I don't have to have 9 hamburgers or whatever it was. I can just eat this and it actually is good. And if I give myself some time, I don't have to do it. I think that's a hard part that people kind of struggle with is the peer pressure, like you're talking about with your friends that you're out with. And then the other is not letting the addiction or the appetite or the desires rule you, but rather you rule it. You're like, no, I have a rule and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So good.
The only one thing, or I could say the bad habit that I still have that I need to cut is I do vape.
Yeah.
So that's one habit I got to get.
That'll affect your lung capacity out here. So interesting, when we first started CrossFit, it was very much a party atmosphere. And so there was a lot of drinking and smoking going on and people hacking. I'm like, we'd probably all hack a lot less if we all stopped smoking. Well, I didn't smoke. I would tell people in situations like that, attack or one at a time, right? Mm-hmm. So there's this thing that goes around. You ever heard of 75 hard?
Yeah.
So it's like 75 days of like 14 hard things that you do. I'm like, man, you're just setting yourself up for failure. How about like 35 easy? Let's do like things that you can build steps on. You can see the success. Yeah. That makes it so tough.
Well, so that's another thing. Like from the first day, starting with Jamie and doing the workouts, and to now. With the vape that I do smoke, but I don't do it as much as I used to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it used to be like anywhere I go, I've got it stuck to my mouth.
Right.
Like if I'm sitting there doing something, it's stuck to my mouth. I have gained a little bit back of the lung capacity.
Yeah.
And it is good.
Yeah.
Because it used to be, when I first started, it would be like
hard. Yeah.
I can't breathe.
Well, and it's good that you're working out through that stuff. So some people will use those as, well, I'm doing this or whatever, I won't do that.
No.
It doesn't have to be that way. It's just like people who, hey, I jog, but I also eat pie. It's totally okay. Mm-hmm. But you have to get on the journey somewhere.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're out there in the Woodstock area and you're hearing this, and it sounds like you, we are here across from Black Rifle Coffee, and there are people just like Omar and myself who are just simply on the journey for health and fitness, right? So if you had a motivator, a why behind what you're doing and why you're doing it, do you have one for yourself yet?
Honestly, not really a motivation, but the main thing is I do want to be healthy, and I don't want to, wake up the next day or go to the doctor for a checkup, and the next thing you know, oh, you've got this,
Right.
Or you all of a sudden get hit with you've got some kind of heart disease or this. Which in my family, my dad's side does have a history of diabetes and heart conditions, and for my mom's side, my grandmother, she does have diabetes. So in a way, it is
So
in
you
the
have the
family
SMART
history.
goals of, I want to be, so on the wall over there, it says we are happy, humble, helpful people who want to be healthy and fit now, as well as in our 90s. We want to be like the fitness, food, and finances. We talk about that in the podcast because if you have fitness and you're doing well in fitness and eating right, and you're going to live a long time, you better have the money, right? If you're an entrepreneur and you're doing it right, you have the money. But if I don't take care of my fitness and my food, I won't be around to spend it.
No.
So it's basically, and I think you're typifying the goals that almost all of us have. And I boiled it down to like this. I want to be able to coach my kids' kids in soccer. Do I really want to coach soccer? No. I just want to be an active and around grandparent. What does that look like? I mean, I think it kind of looks like this right now. I just have to keep doing, right? So those are the goals that I think mean the most. If you're trying to be like, I want to climb Mount Everest, I don't know. There's probably some specific training they should do for high altitude that's not us. We are here to help people get better at life, be harder to kill.
Yep.
We want, and we want to give you the tools, like with Lara. Coach Lara does our nutrition coaching, and it's to give you the tools so that you can become the hero of your own story. You don't need, no one needs to come in and do this. You can find all of this online.
Yeah.
We want you to be able, if you want to, take it on your own and do it. It's just, I like working out with people. So,
Yeah, but I mean, not
or having a
necessarily-
coach. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. But majority of the stuff you read online is not 100% accurate. Trust me, I've fallen victim to a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it's not like I haven't done it. I've done it too.
Yeah.
Go online, what should I do for this? What should I do for that? And if it works for one person, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you too.
No, we found that out the hard way too. Yeah.
Everybody's body is different.
Right. And we tell that, and so in the classes, we'll give everyone scales and modifications because, today may not be your day, whatever, let's just do something, right? Or this movement isn't your movement. You can't, everybody's different. Like I do well on the kind of keto-ish diet, so I do a lot of proteins and fats, no carbs and sugars. Some people are better on heavy carbs, whatever. But the cool thing is there's a lot of people trying different things, and we're willing to experiment to see, hey, what's going to stick, what's going to work. Because the best program in the world that you don't do is no good for you.
No,
It's
that is
better to
right.
do a crappy program. At least you're doing something.
Yep.
But if we can narrow it down and find the thing that works, man, that's even better.
Yeah, see, like with me, you see the water jug.
I love that you're drinking water, yeah.
So when I first started doing it first off, I haven't had a Coke since July.
Yeah, good for you.
So no soda.
Yeah.
It's been water. Started with the water shedding pills. So started taking some of those that help with the bloating, because if you drink that much water, you are going to get bloated.
Oh, yeah.
I was taking that. That's one of the supplements I took. And then the other thing that I take every single day is whey protein.
Yeah.
And,
You talked about that earlier. How do I get all my protein in? It can be a struggle.
yeah. So if you don't, that's one way to do it. And it's not that you have to get a certain kind. At the end of the day, all whey protein is the same.
Yeah.
So a lot of people fall victim to that hype.
Protein extract from milk.
Yeah. So, no, there's a bunch of them out there. Like if you go GNC, for example, they have something called the Ripped Thermogenic Whey.
Okay.
With like caffeine in it.
Oh.
So it's supposed to boost your metabolism.
Okay.
The same thing you can do. Drink whey protein. Just standard whey protein. Eat a watermelon.
Yeah.
Or eat pineapple.
Yeah.
It's going to do the same thing. Yeah. Instead of having to have that caffeine, if you don't want that caffeine.
Right.
Like
That's something that staying home for 2 weeks last couple years ago, that gave me caffeine. I'm now a coffee guy.
Yeah.
I never was. I'm like, I should stop this. I'm a coffee. I'm bad.
So I don't drink caffeine as much anymore.
Yeah.
Like I used to have. If I didn't have caffeine, I'll have headaches.
Yeah.
So I used to drink it every day, but I don't as much as I used to. I'll maybe have it once in a while, but that's it.
Yeah.
But like my normal routine, instead of drinking that, green tea.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. So when I was a kid, there's a caffeine story. I don't know if I've ever shared this, but so my dad, he got sick with the flu, and I thought he was going. I mean, he was bad. He was like, "You're gonna die," and I've never seen him sick. So he's sick. We're all still doing our days, and he's on the couch. He like stayed on the couch for 3 days. I'm like, I mean, shouldn't we take him to the hospital? I don't know. He might be dying. And then one day he sits up. He's like, I feel better. And then his face went green, and he laid back down. And then he was sick for like another 2 days until my stepmom gave him some Excedrin. And Excedrin has caffeine in it. And he realized he hadn't had coffee in like 5 days. And he's a two pots of coffee type of guy. So the caffeine, I'm like, interesting. So as a kid, of course, there's our siren. So in Woodstock, just in case there's ever a tornado, they test the tornado sirens, which is funny. I don't know if you know this. There was a tornado came through. The sirens didn't go off.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait a minute. We pay for this system, but yeah. So anyway, here in Woodstock, you get warned. Anyway, so it has stuck with me that wow, you can get so addicted to something, even caffeine, that I mean, it crushed him. He went from like sick from the flu to he looked worse. I mean, his whole complexion it turned green, and it looked like his skin was soft. I mean, it was like I'm probably sensationalizing this from 40 years ago, but yay! Thank you, Siren, for protecting us. Yeah. So it is a tough thing to remove the compulsions or the addictions, like your tongue, and then I don't know, maybe the bugs in your stomach, whatever. It craves that stuff. And then the food people know I can get you to eat more food if I make it more salty, more sugary, more fatty, more whatever. Or I mean, you take the cocaine, does it come from the poppy seed? So the poppy seed isn't bad by itself.
No.
But if you mush it up, burn it, I actually don't know how to make it, I guess. Yes, I do know how to make it. But you do whatever you do, you make a paste out of it, and then you cook it or something. And now you've got cocaine. So it's just like super processed food, right? So these people want us to eat their food. And they want us to, like you guys are telling me about that new drink out.
Yeah, the Prime.
Prime. Who would drink 16 cups of coffee?
Yeah.
That's insane. I think that would really legitimately kill somebody, which now you guys are saying it's killing people and they're taking it off the shelf.
Yeah, they've actually banned them in a lot of states. And that's what, we were talking about is there's drinks out there that they're marketing towards kids that shouldn't be drinking it.
Oh man, everything.
There's another one that used to be out in the market. Funny thing you said cocaine. There used to be an energy drink called cocaine.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess, why not?
And was, I think, pretty much the same, if I'm not mistaken, when it was out, because we did have it at our store, community store in downtown that we own. We used to sell them, but if I'm not mistaken, they were 3 times caffeine in it. 3 times the amount of caffeine.
That makes sense. Well, I mean, I think this may be total hearsay. Somebody can go Google it, but the original Coca-Cola had cocaine in it, and that's why it was like medicinal because I don't feel sick anymore. Yes, because you're drinking cocaine. I mean, or something to that degree, right? Yeah. So everything has. Anyway, they tried to. Science back then, it was great science. But
that's another thing. Funny thing you said about Coca-Cola. I'm going to tell you another thing about that. So the Coca-Cola that you can buy here in the U.S. is chemical sugar in it.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not even the same original formula. But if you buy the Coke that everybody labels as Mexican Coke with pure cane sugar, that's actually, honestly, I would rather, if I was going to drink it again, I'd rather drink that over the regular Coke.
Yeah. I've heard that it tastes different and it's sold different, which is baffling to me. Like, there are some things that they'll sell in the U.S. that Europe is like, no, you can't sell that. Like Pringles or whatever it is. Or some sort of potato chips. You're like, fascinating. What is it that you guys are banning? Because that's not cool if other countries are like, not to say maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, I don't know, but that's weird.
So same thing with supplements.
Really?
As well. So there are supplements here that, which is why, like, if you look at the labels, it says it's not FDA approved and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Europe, you can't sell those.
Okay.
They have to be
some sort of approval from them.
Now, I could be wrong, but last time I checked, it has to be certified.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Hey, this is a podcast where we speak the truth, so we are never wrong. For all 5,000 people.
But they'll put them on... Now, there's companies that send product from Europe to the U.S., and they won't send it straight to like consumer.
Right.
It actually comes to a warehouse here. They partner up with a company here, and then they'll print those labels
stuff, yeah.
that say not FDA approved and put it on the market. So that anything that they can't put that's not approved in Europe will be sent over here, and whatever chemicals that they artificial stuff that they add, market it here and then sell it.
I may be speaking out my rear end because I don't really know all these things, but you actually have a business. So let's talk about your business. This is kind of a segue. I knew we were going to get here, but I tangented it all the way to it. So in addition to the knife business, you and rental properties and stuff, you guys also have a business in downtown Atlanta. Tell us about that.
So
because it has to do with this. You buy and sell foods, so
we've got one convenience store at the moment in downtown on University Avenue called McDaniel Food Mart.
Does it have a website as well?
No.
Okay, so I can't link it. I'll find it and put it the address in the show notes. Andy, find it.
Well, the easy way to find it is if you put McDaniel Food Mart in Google, it'll pop up. Or we've got like the easiest address. It's 409 University Avenue.
Okay, there you go.
So basically just like the 409 cleaner. Yeah. That store is what we've had for a while now. Previously, we used to have another convenience store. It was actually branded Chevron. It was a full gas station and everything, and that was in the Old National Highway. But we sold that, kind of stick with one store to make easier instead of going from one place to another, to another. Now, with that store, I used to work there too. At the time, we didn't have enough employees. Now, the down part, which I would say kind of contributed to me gaining the weight, was 3 p.m. in the afternoon to 10 at night. Yeah. Having to stand there, work there, seeing everybody come in, buying, this, and you see it and you're like, wait, I didn't know we sold those, because I did not used to do the ordering. My little brother does. And it was, I want to try that. Right. I want to try this. And I used to drink 4 cans of Coke a day.
Dang, and now you haven't had one since July.
Since July.
That's awesome. So, and I'll tell people when they're like, what's the first step? Stop drinking sugar. Yeah. That's the first step. Stop drinking sugar. It's crazy. I lost 10 pounds when I stopped drinking sweet tea. That was my crutch, my kryptonite, whatever. Yeah.
So it even gets worse than that. Yeah. I'm going to tell you something crazy. 16 ounce was the cans of Coke. If we did not have those, 20 ounce bottle. Wow. Maybe 3 of those a day. Wow. If we were out of 20 ounce bottles, Coke didn't do a delivery, and we had 24 ounce bottles, I'll drink 2 of those. Yeah. But it was every day consistently. Honey buns. Yeah. That gets you. But I tried a little experiment, like I was telling you earlier. We had customers coming in asking for protein bars and stuff like that. We have a section in the store that had cookies and stuff like that. So,
and you said it was right up front.
Right up front by the counter. So we added protein. Had the Cliff Bars, Metrex, Fit Crunch. Surprisingly, even though I was thinking it was not going to sell, we did sell the protein bars.
I thought you were going to end that story too earlier with, and nobody bought it. But yeah, no, people bought, which is interesting. So it's up front and they can grab the easy stuff or the, sweet stuff, or I could be sort of conscientious, get a little bit more protein, which I find that, any hack you can make, take a little bit, right? Yeah. Where can you get the protein? Anywhere you want. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's either, they'll go between these two numbers. It's like you pick the weight that you want to be, and then you eat either 0.7 or 1 grams of protein for whatever that weight is, right? And so it can be daunting. Like my son, he would like to be, so he's taller than me, but he's got my frame, and I am just not a big guy. I've never been a big guy. And he's like, dang you in genetics. But he's like, I want to be 180 pounds. I'm like, he's like, I want to do the 1 gram per I'm like, okay, well, that's 180 grams of protein. He's like, well, might as well make it 200. I'm like, might as well. Yeah. Like, what are you going to do to get there? So I've almost got him convinced to put, we have chickens at our house. they give me raw eggs because that's what chickens do. And I put them directly into my smoothie. And he's like, I got to get more protein. I'm like, you can drop a raw egg in. And he's like, that's disgusting. I'm like, it's just an egg.
Yeah.
It's in, but so getting protein in is tough. Finding ways to get it can be tougher. You just have to, I even tried putting ground beef into my normal smoothie to see if I could up the protein count. It was gross.
Yeah, that's where it gets crazy. I'm gonna draw the line on that part.
Right.
I would not.
Somebody
do that.
else said, "Well, did you cook it?" And I was like, "True." I said beef. It was cooked ground beef. It was cooked. So
honestly, I'll tell you a funny thing with the raw egg. I've actually tried it. What was that? Rocky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Just tried it one time, and the worst mistake I've ever done.
Yeah.
The worst mistake I've ever done was I did not like that.
Did it get you sick or?
I think I threw up maybe 2 minutes right after doing that.
So it's weird. So the salmonella can be a real thing, but the chicken eggs that we get, I have reduced my cleanliness protocol. So I'm pretty dirty when I'll just grab eggs and just walk back in the house, or I'll like if they poop in the hen box, I'll just grab some of the chips around it and just throw it out. I'm like, whatever, I'll wash my hands later. I have never gotten sick from that. So it's a weird thing. Salmonella and like chicken eggs and chicken poop and all that, no problem so far. Usually though, I wash the eggs before I use them. Sometimes I don't, but I usually do. Still never gotten sick. So it's a weird thing. Either the texture can mess you up, or I guess if they're store-bought, then possibly there could be something bad with them or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so finding protein. So what's a trick way that you found some protein? Is it doing whey or?
So that's one thing is whey protein, and then
the bars.
Yep, and the bars. Another thing is if you don't want to make the protein shakes as much often, you can get like Fairlife. They have a 30-gram protein drink that's already pre-made.
Yeah.
You can get. I think it's only got like maybe not even 1 gram of sugar in it.
Shake it up real good.
No, yeah, just shake it. It's already pre-made. Just drink it. Or you can even go with Recon 1 MRE.
Okay.
That one's more of a meal replacement.
Yeah, I'm thinking MRE. We're talking military.
Yeah.
Meals ready to eat, which from what I've heard, they don't usually taste good.
No, they don't. They actually don't. Trust me, I've tried my fair share of it. It's not good. Or there's also Muscle Milk.
Yeah.
Which is not bad.
Levi does that one.
So Muscle Milk is good, and also Core.
Okay. Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, Core. Core is basically Muscle Milk, but from Coca-Cola.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Why not? They want a shot in everything.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm okay if I love business. If Coke wants to make things that I would drink, except what I would drink, actually they do. They make Dasani.
Yes.
So I do.
But
drink.
you do realize Dasani does have salt in it.
Oh, I'm okay. Salt's okay.
So it's got a lot of sodium.
Isn't it just like filtered water from Atlanta?
It is. It does have a lot of. It's not as much, but if you want to like keep your sodium level low, it is not a good option to drink it. Honestly, if you want, you could go with Fiji. Is not bad. That's not bad to drink either. But there's one Mountain Valley.
I don't know. Yeah, Mountain Valley. Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually a good one. Better one.
So the I have much like your plate method. I like coming up with habits or rules that make it easy for me to follow. So rather than saying, well, if I go to McDonald's, I can only order this, I just say, if it has a drive-through, I don't eat there, which eliminates a lot of things that I can eat at. So because I don't eat at places that have drive-throughs, which is usually fast food, I don't eat as much salt. So I usually get yelled at if I ever go to the doctor, they're like, you need more salt. I'm like, well, funny. So I ended up like over salting things on my plate to try to catch back up. But I'm sure now, like I use that. My wife loves it, and I love it too. But it's the bougie salt. It's like Himalaya, whatever, which doesn't have iodine in it, which means I'll probably end up with this big goiter because I'm not doing iodine. Anyway, there's always one thing that leads to another. I'm going to fix the first thing. The first thing is I don't eat trash, and I work out. I think that'll help me live a long time.
Yes, that is true. So, touch on the drive-through thing. I'm going to tell you something funny with that.
Yeah.
So, my brother's wedding's coming up in March. So, everybody's in that getting shape.
Oh, yeah.
Wedding mode. So, my youngest brother, who is, you could say, the baby of the family that can get away with murder, that can do anything and does not get any backlash.
Oh, yeah, they exist. I was one of them.
So, he used to eat every day from Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, or stuff like that. So he's on a diet as well now.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, he was telling me, he's like, dude, I am starving. I was like, it's going to be hard. Just give it a week.
Yeah.
So I went to Costco the day before, and they've got this new, it's a company called Killer Dave. Mm-hmm. They're like little protein snacks. Mm-hmm. Got those. There's some fruit roll-ups. Kind of not the fruit roll-up brand, but a more healthier version of it. Got that.
I love Costco. They have bulk. You want to do like prepackaged foods?
Yeah.
Like they'll do it for you. And yeah, this is good.
But he was like, I didn't like the taste of this. I like this. But he's like, I'm starving.
Yeah. Well, that's the tough thing is the taste of it. They make it all super tasty. So it's been about, 11-ish years since I've really had a dosing of sugar. And when we did Thanksgiving, I wasn't even like the sweet smell was not something that I was like, I don't know, I'm done with that. I don't really need it. And we had like a fruit salad or whatever. I didn't even eat that because it was too sweet. And maybe that's gone too far. But it's interesting how your tongue can evolve.
Yeah.
And it does lead you, like your brother's finding, like, hey, I want that. Yeah, they put salts and oils and this and that. They want you to want it.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when basically it's, if you're used to eating that artificial stuff, your tongue does attract to that flavor. But when you start eating like a healthier version of it, your body's like, your tongue really, it's your taste buds that are telling you no.
Right.
I'd rather get that artificial. Because if you eat that, like, if you've always been eating it and consistently eat that, that's what, once you do switch, you're going to have that effect.
Right. It baffles me, some of the things they do, like, when we went to the Great Wolf Lodge when the kids were young, you know that
in
hotel water park type. Yeah. So LaGrange wasn't there at the time, but it was anyways the same sort of thing. It was we go there and they have the all you can eat, like come sit down. We want you to stay. It's like a casino for kids. Like don't leave. There's no lights. You can't see anything. Eat here, sleep here, play here, whatever. So we're eating at their buffet, and one of the kids asked for honey, and they brought out a pack of honey just for giggles. I read the package, and it's like colored water, this, and I'm like, how is it cheaper to like get colored water and process all this than it is just to get honey? Like literally the insect craps it out its butt or its mouth. I don't know what it is. I guess it's throw up. It's an insect making it. You don't have to do anything, but it's cheaper for them to like process it and give us this crap than give us honey. Like Stephanie was in here. I see her all the time. We'd be up at J. Christopher's, and you could up your pancake syrup. You can up your syrup. Like, can I get real syrup? And you can, usually they'll just bring you the colored high fructose corn, whatever. But you can ask them, can I have the real syrup, maple syrup? And they're like, sure. And it's an upcharge, but they give it to you. I'm like, what? How is it cheaper it's a tree that spits it out of its goo.
No, the simple answer to that is profit over quality.
Yeah, right. And probably there's some addictiveness to it too, right? They're like, it has a higher spike.
So the high fructose corn syrup, when you do drink, or if you have anything with that in it, it spikes your insulin level.
Oh, yeah. I love it when they'll do like that continuous glucose monitor, they'll put it on and see what actually happens. It's fascinating. Like, I don't know. So, like 17 years ago-ish, when we started this business, the CrossFit Garage, the other owners, actually one of them lives in Deer Park, or Deer Run. We would say to ourselves, like, what is it going to look like when we've been doing this for 15, 20 years? Like, what is our bodies going to look like? And so they don't know the models. Like the way we eat now, like when we go to the doctor and they're like they told me I'm pre-diabetic. Let's do another test. I'm like, sure, I know I'm not, because what are you going to tell me to stop eating? Well, refined carbs and sugars.
Yep.
I'm like, I don't. They're like, oh, well, let's just do the other test and see it. They're like, yeah, you're fine. But right, the measurements don't work for people who are trying to like be healthy, eat real food and whatever. So like even those continuous glucose monitors, you're like, is it really measuring, like, apparently I've got high spikes of glucose. Well, yeah, I don't eat sugar, so my body needs to make it, right? Or something? I don't know. But it is fascinating as we chase down health and fitness. And like you have wearables, like I really love the idea of a Whoop. And tracking stuff, I would just do nothing about it, so I don't wear them.
So one trick that I'll tell you about keeping the insulin level low, keeping it from spiking is
Don't eat that crap.
That's the biggest one. But second is because I've noticed something. I don't know if it's for everybody, but I've noticed it with me is how I kind of lost a little bit more of the weight was keeping my insulin level low.
Okay.
To keep it from spiking.
Interesting.
And that was, I would take apple cider vinegar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, my wife has talked about this. Yeah.
Right
so, honey,
before-
you're right. It's in a podcast. Here it is.
So I would drink it before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
So dilute it, take 2 tablespoons, and then mix the rest with water.
Right.
Just drink it.
Yeah.
I know it tastes bad,
I was about to say,
drink it.
I think I've done this, and I was like, "That's disgusting."
Yeah.
But yeah, so interesting that so it's not just so it keeps your insulin from spiking, but it also helps you on the weight side as well.
Yes.
Okay, fascinating. So there's 2 things that I love it when something does 2 things. I'm like, yeah, double stack that habit, baby.
The one thing is now there's gummies out there with apple cider vinegar. There's pills out there that have it.
That might be better. Can I swallow it and then it just in my stuff?
The liquid in the pill is fine.
Yeah.
But when you get to the gummies, if you read some of the ingredients,
it's not even
red number 2 or
right. 5.
like 5 or dye number 5. So
yellow dye number 5.
You've got artificial stuff in it with the good stuff.
Yeah. So all you're saying is you buy a bottle of apple cider vinegar like from Publix, then you mix. You said 2
tablespoons.
2 tablespoons into a glass of water.
Glass of water. Okay. And just mix it up and just drink it right before bed.
Yeah.
And when you wake up, empty stomach.
Yeah.
So you can do it. So if you don't want to do it at night, now here's the one thing. If you have any stomach issues like ulcers or if you if you suffer from heartburn, don't do it.
Yeah, that's going to get you.
You don't want apple cider vinegar because it's gonna cause problems.
So I would probably have to do it in the morning. So I try really hard not to drink anything after 7:30. Else I get up like 97 times to go pee. That's the beauty of turning 50 is your bladder, I guess. So the way that weirdly that I'll try it for the morning. But I have learned to fix the bathroom is someone said the other day, hey, you'll stop snoring if you tape your mouth shut. So I've been doing that. Now, anybody that tapes your mouth shut, make sure you put chapstick or whatever on your lips because pulling tape off your lips hurts. And don't tape it across your mouth. Tape it up and down. You just need to keep it shut. But like last night, tape my mouth shut. I woke up twice rather than like 18 times, whatever it is. But so maybe I could give that a shot. Drink that before I go to bed. Tape my mouth shut. Maybe I won't get up. But that's gonna be a fight for me. Is which one means more? I need to sleep. But my wife does it and she loves it. My wife is she was actually in the gym the other day. She might be coming back, but she is into experimenting with all of the things out there that people say like, hey, red sauna is good for you. Okay, let's give it a shot. Cold plunges, like, all right, I'm interested. I'm going to give. She is very good about like, okay, I'll try it and I'll look up the science behind it. And as an engineer, for her to read like that scientific stuff, she's like, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. But she does the apple cider vinegar. It's a huge one.
Yeah, no, that kind of did. Honestly, it did.
Just as good. So you got plate method, apple cider vinegar. Yeah. We got a couple things here that you guys can take away and try this at home.
So that's one thing. I mean, you saw the picture.
Yeah.
That picture, honestly, from the day I started, my weight at that time when we came in was 315.
Okay.
I did my weigh-in with Laura Monday, and that was, I've got to pull it back up. I want to say it was 278, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes, 278. And then this morning, it's 276.
Oh, there you go. So, again, those that are listening that are not members here, this is dedication to what he wants. This is credit to you.
Yeah.
So there's have you met Joe and Sharon Smith here?
No.
Yeah. So everyone says they're just like genetically different. They just crush everything. And maybe that's true, but they are dedicated to their health and fitness. They started with us about 10 years ago, and they have more logins to the gym than I have.
Yeah.
And I own the stupid place, right?
Natalie was showing me the sign yesterday.
Yeah, that's Joe. Yeah, 2,000. How do you get that? Well, you basically work out for 10 years. You come 2,000 times. And they are super fit. And it's the dedication like they have that looks like, oh, it's just superpower. It is. It's called dedication. Or to you, to anybody that follows it's show up. And I have to admit, I love this. I as an owner of this place, I literally just show up and I do whatever they say. Like I walked in and Danny's like, "Hey, you're doing the workout we just did. You're late, but go for it." I'm like, "Okay, right? Burpees and run, whatever, right?"
Yep.
You just do what the coach says. You show up. You pick your plan that you're doing the nutrition, whatever it's going to be. I'm going to go these calories. I'm going to try these things, and you show up to the commitment of your health and fitness. And this is where it happens. It's not. There is no secret pill. The secret pill is doing it.
Yep, that's correct. I mean, before, like, I used to eat anything. Like, I'm hungry, I'm grabbing this, just eat it.
Especially
Done.
if you have a convenience store.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just like grabbing it back. And you know what's funny? Even if you try to be healthy and grab some of that stuff, it's actually not. Like Lay's baked chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, the calories there, but it's like 8 chips.
Is a serving?
Is a serving.
There's way more than 8 chips.
There's
in there.
way more in that bag than 8. So you end up overeating what you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've learned is start reading the things.
Right.
Second, if you're going to go to the grocery store,
Yeah.
outside aisles.
Right.
Look at that. That's going to be the ones that are going to be more beneficial. Because everything else is going to be, especially if it's got a eye-catching color, what that is basically trying to attract you into it. Yep.
It's peacocking you.
Yeah.
They're like, feathers come up, come look at me.
Yeah.
Come
And
try
then
me
when you
out.
read the back of it, it's like loaded with everything you don't want.
So that's a tough one. If you're tracking, it's kind of cool where you can scan the barcode. But I try to eat things that don't have barcodes.
Oh yeah, I know.
Which then I'm like, look, I'm close enough. Look, don't let perfect be the enemy of done, right? Hey, I'm eating healthy. I can't track it. You know what? You just had broccoli. Who cares if you track it? Just break down broccoli. It's going to be good for you. Yeah. No, that's good. I love that. So I got that. I got the read labels. And I love this one. Shop on the outside of the aisles. That's one we tell people. Your plate method, apple cider vinegar. Yeah, we got some good stuff. I'll make sure I put it in there.
Yeah, and like you were saying about tracking calories on the app. So here's another thing. A lot of the food that I do eat is not in the system.
Right.
Because you got to keep them. So my family's from Pakistan. So our food is similar to India and Pakistan have the same similar food.
Okay.
So it's not different. Even though people will tell you all the crazy stuff that yes, everybody wants to fight and all that. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, India, Pakistan, same thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Hey, we're related by food. Let's do it. Yeah.
So some of the stuff is not in there.
Yeah.
So one of the things is if you search online, there's a website called FitScreen.
Okay.
There is some of that on there.
I will add it to the show notes. FitScreen.
So I could be wrong, but I'll double check and see what it was, and I'll text it to you.
That's my job. I'll find it. Yeah, you don't worry about that.
But it does have some food that's not in my MyFitnessPal app.
Yeah. So in those cases, I usually guess. I'm like, I'm making this part up, like cauliflower, and it's like broccoli. I'm like, yeah, sure, broccoli's close enough. I'm like, I have, as an engineer, my attention to detail can be a borderline OCD or maybe just straight on OCD. So I have worked really hard in my life to be like, just take a deep breath. It's okay. It's only like 99.6% correct. I'm like, that's fine. It's fine. It only bothers me for a while. And then, I'm like, it's close.
Same here. Whenever I try to track it, I try to track everything to the T.
It's okay.
But it's like, because sometimes I do. So if it's not in the app, what I do is I do that quick ad.
Right.
Following off that website.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
And then if I don't know technically exactly what's the size by the grams or anything, I bought a scale.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Just weigh it real quick.
So just weigh it real quick and just go off of there.
Yeah, so we had ducks for a while, so I eat a lot of duck eggs, which aren't actually really in the whatever app I was using. I'm sure they're in all the apps except the one I was using. It's like whatever, it's just an egg. I don't care what type of egg it is. No, this is good stuff. So usually I have some questions I ask people at the end. I'm going to go for 2 of them that I think would be fun. Are there any podcasts or books that you listen to that you would recommend out?
Honestly, I've actually, podcast-wise, I've been actually listening to the CrossFit Garage.
Yes, that's right. So, well, I guess if you're listening to this right now, you're hearing us listen to it. But it's, it is fun to have a podcast about the stuff we care about, right? It's like, hey, this is us. I know them.
Yep.
We used to have that billboard right over there.
Okay.
If you could have that billboard and put a message to the world for whatever you want, it doesn't have to be health and fitness. It could be, San Dimas High School football rules or whatever, or Pakistani food and Indian food are the same thing, whatever. If you could put any motto or thing up on that billboard for everybody in Woodstock to read as they drove by, what would you tell the world?
Consistency is a key.
Oh, that's going to be the name of this episode. I love that. Consistency is the key. That is true. I mean, it is true.
It is true, yeah.
It's,
and I mean, I'm
in everything, parenting,
yeah,
paying your taxes, be consistent or you go to jail. I mean,
yeah. that is also true.
Consistency is the key. All right, I'm gonna write that down there. This is good stuff. Man, I appreciate it. Love having you in here.
Yeah, love doing this.
I got a couple small little entrepreneurs in here. Oliver Molinex, he's 13. He started his own lawn care business. So I'm always trying to send him to other entrepreneurs to like talk to because he can get good advice from people who are living that life. And it can be tough. You can work from 3 to 10, but it can pay off.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I even had to do the crazy shift, which is the graveyard night shift, and because our store is open 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
because you have to. Who do you rely on? This is the part that people don't think about when you're an entrepreneur. It literally stops with you.
Yeah, that is true. It does. And then, not just that. I mean, the customers that are coming in, because if it does come down to it, really, the way we look at it, they're the ones that are at the end of the day really making it to where the store's still open and running.
Yeah.
So, like my brother will tell you too if he was here. We look at it as anybody that buys anything from us or comes to our store, their family.
There you go.
So that's one thing too, is if you're good to everybody, they're going to treat you fair at the end of the day.
That's right. Well, and you do something that I find, like, I do it as well. Your phone number and my phone number are at the store, right? If somebody needs you or wants you or whatever, they're like, you said, hey, if you want a product here, we can get it here. Like, that's awesome. What business owner is going to do that? Well, us, mom and pop business owners.
That
not
is true.
Like Quick Mart. They're not going to put the owner of, maybe the general manager will or whatever.
That's it. There's no way you're getting to the owner.
It's a totally different type of service. Actually, so I'm a landlord as well. And I just had somebody rent out a house. And she said her friend was helping her. So she's from Florida. Her friend's up here, ended up living in the same neighborhood. But she goes, make sure you find a landlord that's the owner. Don't go with a business. So that's like the first thing she asked me. It's like, I saw it on the Zillow advertisement. Are you actually the owner? I'm like, I am. It's like, okay, let's talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so much better when you work with owners. But man, Omar, this is an awesome journey. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
In 6 more months, we'll have a full year under our belt and be able to do metrics and just see that health and fitness coming right along, man.
I'm actually excited about that.
Yeah, and then we don't know what the future holds unless we take those consistent steps. Then we make the future we want.
I 100% agree with you on that.
Anyway, guys, if you're here in Woodstock, we are physically located here in Woodstock. If you are not and you just need help, want to talk, I'm happy to talk. My phone number is all over our website. Text me. Actually, email is the best because I'm 50 and texting is still not the best thing for me. I'll read it or my car will read it and then I drive away and I'm like, I don't know, was I supposed to do something? Email me and I'll totally get it done. All right, guys, take care. Omar, it's been great. We look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode.